Welcome back to the vlog. Come on, some construction adventures with Matt.
Okay, so those of you that have been around probably saw the video where I got in the like hardcore slide right outside of Helena and somehow didn't put my phone down in the slush. It's kind of intriguing because I just had an episode on Bone Dry that, like, based on like what my body is doing right now, was way worse, which it makes sense, I guess, because I was going through the canyon and there was a semi and I was passing it and I was on the inside side of the turn, and like as I was like getting up next to the double, so like the second trailer, they all of a sudden came like 2 feet over the center line. Like I had to be on the rumble strips. Like my mirror, I would not be surprised if it's a little tiny bit scraped on the tip on the outside tip from scuffing the Jersey barrier in the middle. Like that's how tight they got me. And like the lump in my throat and stuff just won't go away. And I think it's because it's like with the slide, like, yeah, it's a little bit freaky, but it's like I had control the whole time and there was like no other people around me. Like, so it was me. It's like, you know, and like a combination of, you know, whether or not in the moment I'm like, oh crap. Like I have confidence in my driving, so I think subconsciously I'm like, I got this, even though I'm like, eh. But this situation, if he'd have kept squeezing, like I have no control over what he does. I guess I didn't see what they were. But yeah, if they squeeze like another foot, like I'm getting like shoved up onto the Jersey barrier by a semi. I have no control over what they do. Like I'm honestly kind of think like my tires hitting the rumble strip is probably what startled them into being like, oh crap, because they like kind of, like as I got on the rumble strip, they kind of jerked over. I wonder, let's see. No, probably not. I was trying to get the, there's tons, like for like a quarter mile there was tons and tons of sunflowers. See, there's some more. But like 10 times that. They were like, for the first, like probably 5, 6 feet off of the highway, they were just dense. Okay, so I just had something totally confirmed. I was walking out to the car and I heard like something cranking, and I'm like, by the sounds of it and how long it was taking to start, I'm like, oh, that's like some like mid-80s, like, and I'm kind of feeling bad and being like, I'll go try to figure out how to help him. No, it's like a 2012 or 2013 Tundra. And yeah, that shows that like that, because that's, I mean, I've driven a couple of newer ones, but like that's the ones a little bit newer than that, more like 14 is the ones I drove a ton of, and they were trash. And like I think the newest one I've driven is like a 16. It's like they got a little bit better, but that's the thing, is it's like even if they improved at an alarming rate and way quicker and more than Nissan, Chevy, Dodge, or Ford, there's still no way they're any better than the 5th best truck on the market. Like, I mean, they'd have had to improve from when I was driving them consistently, and then like that one that was just like massively struggling to start, they'd have had to have improved about 15,000 times to even be close to competing with any of the other Ford truck brands. Like even the Titan. I mean, although I'm really not impressed with the XD, like the, what, 5/8 ton with like the little Cummins. But yeah, like the base gas-powered Titans are even better than the Tundras. Okay, I went to start this video and my neck looks skinny or something. What the heck? Oh my god, the blood they drew made me shrink. Okay, I'm an idiot. But no, the reason I got on here is because, like, you know, the term bussin', basically, like, you'd think that would mean like being a dope, because like the other day, like, or doing something or having a problem, because the other day Megan was like doing something and like not doing very good, And I was like, what are you, bussing? And she's like, huh? And I mean, I know what it actually means. But I was just being super lazy and didn't want to say, are you on the struggle bus? And I'm like, bussing? That's more what bussing should mean. It should be short for struggle, but like, are you on the struggle bus? You bussing? Like, I guess it could technically have two meanings, because it's like, the other one is like, that is bussing. And this one's like, as a question, like, you bussing? Well, once I said that, I'm like, yeah, I know that was not what it means, but like, once you think about it, like, yo, are you on the struggle bus, or you bussing? Which is easier. So Nathan grabbed a Hot Wheel without me paying attention, and yeah, Hot Wheels green speed, and then I was just telling Megan on Snapchat, said she's at work, like, something that big and heavy looking, like, because I didn't even really glance at it, let alone actually look at it, would have a range of like 1.5 miles. Like, it's kind of funny because I have an article open that I need to read, but it's like about like after like long distance testing, the some higher up with Ford was like I basically got smacked in the face with the truth of like, these don't work good. I need to read the full article, but it's like, yeah, like, and the thing is, that's like I say about electric all the time, like, if you could make it where I could like pull up at a charging station, run into the gas station, take a pee, grab an energy drink, check out, get to my vehicle, and it's 100% charged, and then I could get like 500 miles, I'd be, or I mean, if I charge that fast, I could get like 3, because then I guarantee I could make it between like big enough cities to have charging stations. And if it was like, there was no stretch of highway or interstate that you went more than like 150 miles with a charging station, then maybe, because at that point, and then, you know, because like they got that instant power, but then at the same time though, they'd also have to make it where like you could get like a truck, like you get the F-150 Lightning, which is what that article was talking about, and pull like a max, whatever the max towing capacity is, pull that weight of camper or like a car on a hauler or whatever, and only have the range lose like 20% at most. Like, sure, but that's the thing. And then also, you know, not have to have little kids mining lithium for them. But, I mean, it's like, I mean, that'd be like trying to be like, okay, like, yeah, I want the perfect scenario. I want a state with mountains where everybody's just like normal and like don't fight about politics and nobody wants any rights taken away. They're just like, yeah, just do whatever you want as long as you don't hurt other people. That's what we want here. And everybody agrees on that. And like, you know, nobody's going to be like just whiny jerks about anything. And like, there's no forest fires, so you don't have to worry about smoke. And somehow there's like a bubble around it, so smoke from other places can't get there. Like, it's not possible. There's no way to have like, I mean, because it's like, even if they could get the cars and trucks to work that way in electric, I mean, you're still going to have the problem of like very unethical mining practices for the lithium. And then even if they fix that, there's still the problem with lithium running out. Because it's, yeah. I mean, it's like, you think about like with ethanol, like there's so many things people have created that can like burn in a gas-powered internal combustion engine. Something that, like the biodiesel that you're using, like old fryer grease. Like I mean, unless like every fast food restaurant and every like greasy like place that serves like greasy food goes out of business, like blinks out of existence, and everybody's like, I'm gonna eat super healthy. Like, that's gonna exist forever. There's always gonna be some sort of internal combustion that is like very renewable. And like, yeah, lithium, like, I mean, I've never looked into it, but I don't think humans have like created like here we can like build lithium out of nothing. But that's the one I'm still intrigued by, is like the hydrogen fuel cell, where they were going to try to like make it where it like pulled the hydrogen out of water and then release the oxygen part into the atmosphere and burn the hydrogen. Because, I mean, the Hindenburg proves hydrogen isn't very stable. But it's like, if you could make that stable, and then that would also still be internal combustion. And it would be like the cleanest possible thing. Like, you would actually be releasing oxygen. And I mean, you could like fill it up with your garden hose. Or like, you know, you'd have like, I don't think you'd be able to ever get it to where you just put the garden hose in the car, but you would have like something, you would probably have something, they'd probably design it where, but someone somewhere would just be taking water, releasing oxygen, and taking the hydrogen out of the water for the fuel. Like, you can't get better than that, and you wouldn't have to be like mining anything or anything like that. But they gave up on that one because, you know, that's an actual clean source. That, besides like whoever makes the machines that separate the hydrogen out of the water, nobody's making money off that. So I finally read that article, and it's kind of funny because it's like the Ford CEO is just doing a road trip on Route 66 is basically to, how was it phrased? Because he's posting on LinkedIn and X as he goes. But yeah, it's to learn more about the EV experience. But it's kind of funny because he's like talking about like before he was even out of California, he had to charge twice, which I mean, like, I don't know how wide California is, but I mean, like, you know, when you got these things out there being like, we got 500 miles of range, like, I mean, it's, well, I don't know, because, like, it's definitely smaller than 500 width-wise. I mean, obviously, if you're going at an angle, it's different, because, like, Montana's, like, 700, and I think that, like, that's going across the state. But, you know, so it's, like, probably half of that, maybe a little bit more. So you maybe barely, but, I mean, when you got these people out there being like, you can go 500 miles, like, clearly that's already immediately not true. But then he was, like, talking about trying to get charged, and it's, like, at one place it took he got 40% in 40 minutes. So if it continues at that pace, that's a percent a minute. That's over an hour and a half to get your charge filled if you're, I mean, you'd basically have to be completely dead. But it's like, let's say you're at 20%, and you want to get that 80 back, you're at almost an hour and a half just to get charged back up. And then he already had to do it twice getting across California. That's 3 hours before you get out of one state. And, I mean, he did say, like, okay, because that's one of the things is they've had, like, people complaining about the charging time. So they're working with Tesla because Teslas charge faster to, like, improve their charging. But still, like, Teslas aren't that much faster. It's not like you're going to be able to get it, like, the same as when you go, like, run into a pump gas, like, you can run in, go to the bathroom, like, if they're, like, the ones that have restaurants in them, but, like, the ones that have restaurants in them, you could go in, like, pump your gas, go in, have a meal, go to the bathroom, and, like, leave, and get, like, 50 or 60 miles before the Tesla's even close to charged. So, yeah, it's kind of funny, like, and then, I mean, they're not as gung-ho about it as GM, but it's insane to me because, and that's the thing too, that was when he was still in California. Just wait until he starts getting, like, out in the middle of nowhere. Because that was, like, Megan read this article about somebody that, was it Weibo? Megan can throw an interlude here to remind us if she can't remember, but it's, like, some, like, southeast Montana place that, like, there's no charging anywhere, and they're like, oh yeah, like, they looked into it, knew there wasn't charging, and did it anyway. And then they stole power from the town. They hooked up to a thing where they, like, they almost never leave it unlocked, but they leave it unlocked, like, because they use it for, like, setting up stages for events. There was an event one week, then an event the next, and it was just like, it didn't get locked. And they just, like, randomly stopped and stole energy from the town. And then, you know, obviously coal-powered energy, so that's even more hilarious. But, yeah, like, you know, they research it. No, there's not charging there. And it's like, oh, my gas-powered thing only gets, like, I think it was like an older 4Runner. He's like, it only gets, like, 10 miles per gallon. So it's like, but you still see there's no charging there, and you do it anyway and then steal power. But, like, let's say, like, it's somebody that just, like, doesn't have the thought process to be like, hey, when I'm out in the middle of the U.S. where, like, stuff's not close together, I better research charging. Like, if somebody's going through there and didn't look into that, they're stuck. I mean, unless they can, like, talk somebody into being like, let me plug into your wall outlet and have to charge for, like, 12 hours. Like, sure. It's because it's, like, a combination of, it's like, so many of them are inconsiderate like that. And then also, like, the infrastructure isn't there. Once you're like 400 or 500 miles from the coast, the infrastructure is not there in any direction. It's like, go like start in like Havre, Montana, and cut like across and go through the Dakotas and then head straight down to Dallas. You're probably going to be doomed that whole way. Like this Ford. I mean, it's on Route 66, so it's like there's probably going to be some just because of the travel there. But at the same time, I guarantee, like, there's spots where there's trouble getting fuel. That's been a thing for centuries. Well, century and some change. You really think it's going to be easy to get electric charging there? No way. That's one thing that's kind of sad, because I was just, like, contemplating that article I read. The funny thing is like, it isn't like the dude from Ford's going to be like, oh, the infrastructure isn't there in the middle of the part of the country. Like, we need to, like, keep gas-powered available for our people in the heart of our country, like, way longer than we planned. Because, like, that infrastructure isn't going to just, like, pop into existence in the next 4 or 5 years. No, they're probably just going to be like, nah, suck it up, too bad, and push right on with it. I almost guarantee that'll be how it goes. Because, you know, the government has to interfere with our lives. It's like, yeah, you got a lot of freedom here. Yeah, you're not going to be able to pick your car. What? You're going to have to pick electric. Like, if I'm trying to ride, like, across my state, that'd be, like, 3 charging stops. We don't care. Like, that turns a drive, like, without even leaving my state, that turns a drive into, like, 2 days. Don't care, not our problem. You're doing it whether you want to or not. Free. Okay, so now they're doing like further towards Butte, which means yet another seam, like in, like obviously there's going to be the middle seam because they're not, I don't know why, like, because if they put us all in the other lane like they did by Helena for the bridges, you could shut the whole thing down and make it one big wide pass. Like, even working at H&H, we had ones that could do it. I think our biggest one could probably do it 2 pretty easily. And, like, I mean, I know, I'm 99.9% sure Gilman's around, which is in Butte, has one that's wide enough. But, yeah, here's one of the seams. I'm in the TRX, so it's kind of hard to judge, because that felt I could feel it in this, so that's a bad sign. But yeah, like in, I mean, I don't think, they're not quite going Clare to Opera. I mean, maybe they're gonna do that next, but it's like probably 15 miles, and they're gonna like at least have, because of the way they were paving the part they already did, they're gonna have at least like 6 or 7 seams, and that's like if they do the next part really, really well. So it's like, besides the seam in the middle, they're gonna have like that many random seams, like, that go across the highway, when they could have shut down one side. Now over there, they're paving, Nathan. He just asked when they were milling if they were paving. God, they're moving slow, too. This is basically the exact same way it was last Sunday. Which, I mean, they probably didn't work the weekend, so last Friday. But, yeah, I mean, like, so they're ending up with a seam, like, every, like, 2 miles and change. Like, that's horrible. Or, yeah, probably, roughly. And it's like, I mean, when they could have shut it down, got a bigger paver in, milled it all, then just did one big, long, wide pass on both, like, for both sides. Plus, it'd be more efficient, because, like, over there, you can see how much they're backed up, because they're having to stop to let trucks, they're having to stop them entirely to get trucks in and out that have asphalt. And on this side, they're having to stop people entirely to get trucks to collect the millings in and out. Like, there would be no stopping. There would just be, like, one side flowing smooth. They finish that side, divert us over there. I don't know. This is part of the thing with, it's like, construction in Montana is annoying, but, like, once you have some pretty decent background in it, like I do, like, you're just like, my God, how, like, Nathan, who is 5? that scene was actually pretty good. Could very easily plan this out better. And that's kind of a sad thing to think about. Especially considering the fact, like even the lowest person on the totem pole on this job, with it being Davis Bacon, is making at least like high 20s, probably like mid-ish 30s. So it's like, oh, see, like there they had 2 seams. I don't know if we caught that the other day. They like, yeah, so it's going to be a lot more than that, because they had a spot like right there where that turnaround was, where they like left it unpaved when they paved this part here and the part behind us. So that's 2 seams in like maybe 50 feet, and they did a terrible job. Yeah, it's baffling. I haven't been paying attention, but yeah, they're doing this in 3 passes. So the shoulder, like one lane's a pass with its like basically no shoulder, and then the shoulder's a pass, and then the other lane, like, yeah, like I said, the bigger paver we had at H&H could do this in 2 passes pretty easily. So like, how is whoever is being hired to do a highway, which is going to be very, very well paying Davis Bacon, not have the proper equipment? It's kind of insane. It's baffling. I don't know. Okay, so here's a spot where they didn't do that one pass to there to make it where you can get off there. But literally, it was like 200 yards long. So they have like a random empty spot. I don't know what the heck they did there. It looks like they might have stopped the paver for a while and let it like settle. There's another random seam. Good God. This is so poorly done. It's going to be back in the same shape in months. Like by the end of next winter. Or this upcoming winter. Like one winter with some thaw and freeze, and like how many spots there's going to be for water to settle.
I'm done.
Once again, that other side is absolute chaos. Oh, and someone broke down. Oh, that would suck. At least there's like kind of a, like where that crossover's still there. And that's another point. They wouldn't even have to build 2 crossovers. They could have just used that one and built one at the other end. Yeah, I mean, and this is to my point, if they just put the traffic on one side, like got everybody over on one, use that crossover right there, and built another one at the other end, which, I mean, they have. Yeah, that's there. There's one there from doing the bridges. You'd have to have people over a little bit earlier than they need to be. But, yeah, like, reuse those 2 take the posts out, reuse those 2 crossovers, and make it 2-lane where they're doing. Good grief. Seriously, Nathan, you should go become a construction planner, especially for highway. This is pathetic, man. I wonder how much the person planning it out gets paid. Because, I mean, if that person is making like 100 grand, like, I'll go take that job right now. Blink of an eye and outdo them like in a quarter second. I accidentally hit the button, turned my blinker off.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one.